Good afternoon. It's your girl, Sharifah Hardie. I have an amazing show for you today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to share an inspiring story with you because one of the things that I love to do is be able to show you people who are not only living their dreams and making it happen, but people who share how they got from where they were to where they are now. But before I share this story, I'm going to ask you to do what I always ask you to do, and that is go ahead and share this show because friends don't let friends miss out on Ask Sharifah videocast. Why would you when we're sharing so much information and we're inspiring each other? Make sure your friends are involved as well. Our guest today is going to talk a little bit about her career, how she got started, and where she is now. And you're going to be blown away by how she can help you. I want to say good afternoon to Bianca St.John. Good afternoon, Bianca. How are you?
Hi, I'm really well. Thank you for asking.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I love your smile. I love your energy. But most importantly, I love your story. Would you consider yourself a serial entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think I really like that title, definitely.
Why a serial entrepreneur?
I guess because I've been an entrepreneur since I got started working at the age of 19. So I'm currently in the beauty industry, and I've been doing that since I was 18, 19 years old. And being in the beauty industry, being a hairstylist, being independent that way, you definitely have to have some entrepreneur skill sets to survive that business.
So you're in the hair industry. What exactly do you do within the hair industry?
So currently I'm a beauty educator. So I work at a cosmetology school teaching cosmetology to young women most of the time. So yeah, that's what I'm currently doing.
What made you decide to get in cosmetology? Most of the people that I know that are in cosmetology will tell you that they've been doing hair all their lives. They remember being a little girl and like braiding their sister's hair. All their friends came over. Was that how it was for you?
A little bit. I experimented on myself more than anyone else, changing my look weekly. And my mom really saw that talent before anyone. And she said, this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So I actually started at a beauty salon in Chicago. Her friend owned the salon and she said, hey, go try it out. See if you like it. See if this is something you want to do. And that summer that I worked in that salon, even though I was just a shampoo girl, I made so much money. I was like, yes, I'm definitely doing this. And so I went to beauty school, I fell in love with it, really decided I really enjoy hair cutting and things like that. And as soon as I was done with beauty school, I just took off and I never looked back.
No, what's interesting about what you said, and I love entrepreneurs, but I saw this meme one time when it says like we talk about like people who do hair or barbers or that kind of thing, but if you really added up the math and what they charge per person and then you multiply it by day and then multiply that by the week and a month, it's like these people are making more money, hundreds of thousands of dollars because a good beautician, I mean, I don't know where you are, but I'm in Los Angeles, California. It may be $400 or $500, if not $1,000, just for somebody to put in a weave. So you do that little weave, you make your money, and people are like, "Oh, you just do hair," but maybe they're making $25,000, $30,000 annually at their job. Am I wrong, Bianca? Or
no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are hairstylists. It's really up to you. You set your price and you set your price based on what you're worth. And that's one thing I talk to my students about is like, hey, do you want to be a 20K stylist or a six-figure stylist? Let me know so I can train you in that direction. And at the same time, I usually kind of force it on them and tell them I only produce six-figure stylists. So that's what I'm going to hold you to. So, yeah.
No, I love that. You have the business, you've added the business entrepreneur, maybe without even realizing it. Like you've added that business entrepreneurial piece into being able to do hair. So that begs the question, what is the difference between a $20,000 a year stylist and a six-figure a year stylist? What's the difference?
So the difference really is, one, homing your skills and continue to educate yourself as trends change and things like that. Really knowing how to promote yourself, being professional with your clients, and then working outside of the salon too, right? Not just being stagnant in one place, but figuring out other ways to make revenue. So if you're going to be just a hairstylist, are you going to sell your clients products or tools or things to keep their hair nice and pretty when they're sleeping, things like that. Expanding past just doing hair behind the chair is definitely part of it. But most of all, understanding the finances and the business that comes along with being a hairstylist. Because I feel like sometimes a lot of hairstylists and barbers, they're getting all this cash coming in daily and they're not paying attention to their finances. They're getting it really quick and spending it just as quick. And it's really about reinvesting that money into your future and what that looks like. So if you're making $1,000 a week, how much are you putting away for that day, for that ultimate goal of being a salon owner or a barbershop owner or something like that?
Do you find that most of your students even are considering being a salon owner, or maybe they're just saying, I just finished, high school. I don't want to go to college. Maybe my grades weren't good enough, or maybe I don't want to sit in a corporate office. I want, to work with hair, but maybe they just wanted to be at a salon as opposed to be a salon owner. Is that something that you encourage in your students?
I definitely get a mix of what their ultimate goal is, but what I have found in the recent years is that these young kids are definitely thinking on a big scale of things. And so they're coming out the gate, promoting themselves on social media, already creating a brand and a following. And most of them have the desire to own a business, a salon or a barbershop, but they may not really understand what that all entails. It just, it sounds like a good thing. And so, unfortunately, at the beauty school level, you don't get all of those tips and tricks and information. That's stuff that you'll have to gather along the way and, get a mentor and things like that to help you create that journey.
Okay, well, I think now in 2020, it's easier now than it's ever been in history to create a brand and to create a following. And I think, especially in the hair industry, this is the number one industry where when people ask you, oh, you do hair, let me see what you've done. Like they want to see your work. They want to see your Instagram. They want to see, what are you working with?
Yeah, for sure.
We had a comment here and they said, young kids, Bianca looks all of 16.
Oh, stop. Thank you for that.
No, but I noticed that too, because you were like the kids, and like you were like, when I was 18, 19, and even in my head, I'm like, she gotta be, but then to be in and teaching at a beauty school, you gotta be a grown woman.
Yeah, and my students definitely see me as the old lady, right? Because they're 18, 19-year-olds. I'm 37 and I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm definitely fussing at them sometimes like a mom would. But I think what it is, because I notice it a lot with people that's in the beauty industry. One, we're loving what we do. So we're not stressed a lot, and most beauty professionals pick their own schedule. So they have a little bit more time to do some self-care and things like that. And I'm just grateful that I have that opportunity to do what I love and, create a space where I can really enjoy life and take care of myself too.
Well, I'm telling you, it's true. Black don't crack, because I would have never, ever put you at 37. I would have been like, okay, maybe 25, 26, but about to hit 30. I would not have guessed 37, but I'm horrible at guessing ages. I think one of okay, what made you want to incorporate the business or the entrepreneurial aspect of working with the students? I mean, because I would believe that most teachers just come in, teach you how to do hair. Why add anything else?
Because I've been through it. I've been through
Mm.
it.
Talk to
So
us.
right out of beauty school, I started working in a salon and it was fun.
Mhm.
But during that time, hot Atlanta was all the scene, right? So I was like, I'm moving to hot Atlanta, I'm about to go live it up. And when you're young, you just think things are easy. I'm like, I'm going to, make this amount of money and I'm going to drive a fancy car, everything's going to be so simple. And it really is hard work. Hard work to create your own lane. It's hard work as someone new in the business and someone young in the business for people to take you serious and then ask for the money that you feel like you're worth. And so all of that came with trial and error. But again, I loved what I was doing and what I'm doing. And so I always believed in the prices that I asked for. Even if you didn't believe in it, I stayed firm on this is what I want. This is how much I'm worth. And then eventually, people started taking me serious. And so also wanting to do more than just work behind the chair. I've done like hair shows and fashion shows and photo shoots, and all of that comes with negotiation, right? You can't go in there and just say, hey, maybe you can pay me $100, $200, but staying firm, like, hey, I'm worth $500. I'm going to give you this much of my time. Anything past this will be an additional this. And I can say that confidently now, but at the moment, especially, in my 20s, it was times where I got taken advantage of, doing shows or hair for people. And they take advantage of me not knowing. So, you learning in those mistakes. And working with my students now at the age of when I started in the beauty industry, it's only right that I share those stories with them. And then the ones that I know are on the track to doing a little bit more than just work behind the chair, or I know they need some mentorship. I stay connected with them after they graduate, and we work on those type of things. And so, yeah, those are just things I'm passionate about, just because I know the struggle. I wish I would have had a mentor to help me through it. So, yeah.
I like that. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, Bianca, but you got to promise if I ask this question, you're not gonna get mad at me.
Okay,
I don't know. She's like, I don't know yet. I don't know. That's a yes, Bianca.
You can answer. Let's see what you got.
Okay, now I'm in LA again, and one of the things that I have said personally is that it's very hard to find beauticians who can do natural hair. And what I mean by natural hair is not just a natural wild style, but like anything, like a wrap, anything on actual hair. It's like every time you go to someone, it's like, what do you do? Oh, well, let me give you a weave. Let me give you a weave. And it's like, okay, you want to charge me $500 for a weave, and the hair is already curled. The hair is already done. All you literally doing is sewing it in. But for my natural hair, it's like people don't even want to touch it. And I believe that's why I said, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me now. But it can be because they're going to make $50, $80 off of this style, where they can do a weave and make $400 in the same time frame.
I think it's a little bit of that, and it's also a little bit about them trying to do what they're comfortable in, right? Prior to the pandemic, I was not only teaching in a beauty school, but I was also working in a private suite, specializing only in natural hair texture. And the only way I got comfortable with doing natural hair is because it was something I had to do for myself. Prior to having natural hair, I was a hair weave girl. I was a color girl, because that was my lane. That's what I was comfortable with. So I probably would have did that same thing back in the day. I'm like, hey, well, just get a weave, girl, because I don't know how to successfully give you great natural hair. After I had my son, my hair changed because it was a myth that back in the day you can't put chemicals in your hair when you're pregnant, blah 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 blah. So I didn't. But as soon as I had that baby, when I tell you I ran for that relaxer, I ran for that relaxer and I put it in my hair and nothing. I still had abundance of curls. And so I was like, okay. So I waited a few weeks to try it again, still nothing. And so now I'm stuck with this natural textured hair and I just had to figure it out. And that was 17 years ago. And so now I can confidently say I can work with natural hair. And I don't do any relaxers. I do color, and I really don't even do hair extensions anymore. And I can make just as much money as when I was doing hair extensions. So it's not about the price, because still, again, people are paying you what you ask for, what you're worth. But I think it's more that most people haven't taken the time or the education to really hone into natural hair and what that's about. For the people that have, they put a lot of time into it, as far as either money or working on themselves or friends and family to get that education.
Yeah,
it's definitely a niche. It's definitely a niche.
Yes, because y'all be trying to weave people up all the time. Just put a weave, just put a weave, just put a weave. And for years, I would wear my hair in a wrap. Like if you see all my pictures, it's in a wrap. And people would say, like, Sharifah, that is so boring. Like you said, you change your hair every week. Every maybe couple of years, I might put it in a ponytail. But other than that, it was always in a wrap. And people like, you don't want to try anything else? You want to do anything else? I'm like, no, wraps are idiot proof. Like I can go to the beauty school and they can wrap it. Because all you're doing is doing a mushroom. Remember back in the day, I used to call it a mushroom. Like you just bump the ends. Don't even worry about it, boo-boo. When I get home, I'm going to wrap it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They don't teach them those kind of things. I went to a beauty school, and this was maybe like a year ago. And it was like an experience class. And she had no idea about the plastic wrap. The student was like, well, what are you doing? Because the teacher because I was like, I want it wrapped with the plastic wrap. And the teacher had to do it. And she was looking at me like, what are you doing with that plastic?
Yeah.
Y'all still teach the plastic wrap?
We don't. That is what we consider something extra that you'll have to learn in the salon. So beauty school is all about basics. Yeah.
I thought that was basics though, no?
No, not so much.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Bianca. We have a question for you. The young lady wants to know, she says, now that you are on the teaching side, do you still take courses and training from others? I always wonder, do experts still need experts?
Yes. So one, it's required by state as part of your license, right? That you get continuing education as you renew your license every 2 years. That's a requirement. Is it loopholes all the time, right? But yes, I definitely stay educated. And one of the major reasons is just because I love what I do, right? And I want to be able to, one, keep up with the trends, keep up with my clientele, because they're going to want the new things. And two, it's just fun for me. It's just fun for me. So yeah, absolutely, I do.
Excellent question. Thank you for that question. So let me ask you this, because see, me personally, I would be afraid to be a beautician. That, like, honestly, I would, because people always come in. I don't have it, but I'm gonna use this as an example. And they'll be like, I want to look like Beyonce. They're bringing you that picture, and you're looking at them like, What do you do? What do you do?
Yes. So that is something I'm definitely teaching my students, right? And so it's all about wording. It's all about the way you word this with your guests. So like, we're going to do your version of this, okay? That's the first thing.
Oh, she said your version.
Your version of this. That's what we're going to do. And then pick out a few things that they really like about that look, and then, incorporate that into what they can do.
Oh, that is wonderful. See, I like the way you think. You know, it's like I always believe you can say just about anything. It's just you just have to phrase it in a certain way so that the person can receive it, so that they
Yeah,
can take it. So, but if you really truly understand what they're going for, what they're trying to get out of it, I think you'll come closer to. And I think, too often beauticians do not take the time to have a conversation with someone before starting on their hair, and then they come up with a
yeah,
completely different look.
yeah,
Something they need, something that works with their face, with their shape, with
yeah,
whatever, and
yeah,
make them look hot. So that's what professionals do. But something happened to you, which happened to the world, and that was the
yeah.
global pandemic, COVID
Oh
19.
yes, yes,
And
that we're still
yeah,
going through it.
yes. So I'm pretty sure, because I'm going to go ahead and assume here and jump into some conclusions, but I know the beauty schools are open here in California. Are you teaching now in Texas?
So we are still teaching, but it is remote. And so we're
Okay.
teaching online, kind of like we're doing right here through video call and things like that. But it has allowed me to still relax and have a lot of downtime and focus on some other things. But yes, I'm still teaching. My students still see me about 3 days a week.
Okay. I'm known for my questions and my honesty. So I'm just going to
Yeah,
ask the curt question. How can you teach someone to do hair remotely? Like, don't you have
yeah,
to be up close and personal to see into, like, I can't even see, I can see your hair, but like
yeah.
the part and stuff, like I couldn't see into it enough to know, if it's pressed correctly, or how do you do
It's a
that?
struggle. It's definitely been hard, but we can't stop, right? We're going to continue to teach the best way we can, and then some things we are definitely waiting until we get back into the institute to cover and go over. But like some more of the book work or things that they're already familiar with, really just perfecting those skills.
Yes. But you've been perfecting your skills during this quarantine as well, because in addition to just being a beauty educator, you want to help people in all regards. You want to help them with their finances. You want to change their lives. Like you that tell us a little bit more about your business, Gold Coin.
Okay, so Gold Coin Financial
Mhm,
Business and Development is a business that I have been working on since the end of last year.
mhm.
And during this pandemic, it was like, okay, I got this downtime. I'm stuck in the house. You said you wanted this, B, so let's get started. And so that's what I told myself, and that's what I worked on. So taking some beauty classes and things like that. I recently moved to Austin, maybe like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. I'm originally from Chicago.
Mhm.
And when I moved down here to Texas, um, having a conversation with myself about what is this change going to look like for me.
Mhm.
I had the opportunity to start over somewhat. I was moving to join a different institute, same brand, but in a different location, right? Don't know anyone in Austin, but I knew it was going to be warm weather, which is what I was really running from, right? From
Mhm.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And I took the opportunity to kind of just reset all the way around.
Mhm.
So having a conversation with myself, like, okay, you're not going to really have to worry about starting over as far as a job, but you can start all over in your personal life. What is that going to look like for you? What kind of changes do you need to make? What kind of woman do you want to be? Let's work on that,
Mhm.
right? Because I'm moving away from my friends and moving away from my family. I'm going to have time to kind of focus on me and develop those things.
Mhm.
And so during the first year that I've been in Austin, it was really about just absorbing information because there was some things I definitely want to change about myself. Definitely want to grow to being a better person
Mhm.
all the way around. So that year, I didn't really do too much entertainment. I didn't watch a lot of TV. It was just about absorbing information, learning something, staying motivated, things like that. And so during that time of taking all that information in, I heard this phrase
Mhm.
and I kind of just brushed it off. I was like, okay, that sounds good. You know, you hear things like, oh, that sounds great, but it's just,
Mhm.
it's what people say.
Right.
And I was doing a class for beauty education.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady that was teaching the class said the phrase again. And I'm like, okay. And for some reason at that time, I couldn't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I kind of chopped it up as, oh, that's a theory.
Mm-hmm.
I still couldn't shake it. It was kind of stuck to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the phrase goes, a dream can be a goal if you just add a date to it.
I love that. That's kind of nice.
The goal becomes a plan when you create steps.
Mm.
Those steps into action becomes your reality.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady is saying my dreams can become reality.
Mm-hmm.
If I do those simple steps of adding a date to it, so now it's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then breaking that goal down into steps, into a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then just doing those action plans, I can get whatever dream I want. Okay,
Right.
that's a theory. Right, that's
It
a
sounds
theory.
easy.
So what else can I do? I can try it, right? So I thought about the biggest dream that I possibly could have. What if I can do anything, what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And so I come from a military background where, military people, they not graduate, they retire early in age, right?
Mm-hmm.
They join the military when they're 18, 19 and do their 20 years and they retire by the time they're 45. And so my mom retired when she wasn't even 40. And so I was like, okay, that's the goal, to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say retire, I mean, I don't want to have to be forced to clock in somewhere.
Right.
I still want to work. I still want to do my thing, but I don't want to have to be on someone else's time.
Right.
Because some of the information I also absorbed during that year when I was taking information in is an employee is someone that is building someone else's goals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That didn't sit well with me at all. Like, I'm working so hard to create somebody else's dreams, somebody else's goals. I got my own goals. I got my own dreams, So I was like, okay, that's the dream. Let's see if these steps really work.
Mm-hmm.
So then I put a date to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be retired by the time I'm 40.
Okay.
So now it's like, okay, you got the date, so it's a goal now. What's the plan? What's the steps to this?
Mm-hmm.
And so I could become a salon owner and work in a salon. That's my thing. That can be part of my retirement. And that's okay. But I didn't feel like that would still allow me to pour into people like I'm doing right now as an educator. I didn't feel like that would still fill my cup,
Okay.
And so thought about it, like, what can I do as I go into retirement that I can still help people, where I can still feel good about what I'm doing. And during that time, I was really working on my finances, because one thing, if I'm going to retire, I got to get my ducks in a row, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm working on my finances, I'm working on my credit, and I know I'm going to have to do some type of self-employment. So what does that look like? And so with that came Gold Coin. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for people. Gold Coin is going to be about helping people with their finances, helping couples with their finances, and then starting the beginning steps of starting your business. That's what I want to work on.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's how Gold Coin got started. During the pandemic, even though I had been thinking about it since the beginning of the year, during this pandemic, I just poured everything, all my free time, into developing it. And I've been doing good. I've already worked with some clients. I've seen some really good success. Mm-hmm. So one guy, and it came really organically how I started working with him. And it really wasn't even on the books right away. It was more just having conversations, and it ended up developing into things that Gold Coin lines up with.
Okay,
So
we got to make sure we speak to the IRS, right? So what happened was you was just working with him, right? And the money wasn't exchanged.
Not yet, but then we got there. Yeah, we got there. It started off as just a simple conversation. And so he purchased some land. He purchased some land, and we had a conversation about what his dreams for this land was, right? And so we're having that conversation. We're bouncing ideas off of each other. And I said, hey, first thing, we need to get legit. I want you to have a business name. You need to create an LLC. You need a business banking account. I need you to move as a professional, right? Right. I'm glad you got this land, but now what? And so I helped him build those steps. I kind of helped him start like creating a brand for his business as well. And so we did those first beginning steps. Got him established as an LLC, business bank, started a little bit of branding as well. And so that is what Gold Coin does for new and young businesses. Start those beginning steps to get you on the right track. So we started there, but we continued to have conversations. So he bought this land cash.
Oh, wow. I need to know him.
That's impressive. Yeah.
I need to call him.
Cool. So then he was like, B, I want to develop this plan, but I don't want to take out a large loan. I don't want a lot of debt. I still need this to be either cash in my hand, grants, or, funds that have been donated.
Okay.
So I said, okay, we can do that. We can do that. And so during this pandemic, that was our role working together. That's what we focused on. And so about 2 weeks ago, I'm out running my errands. And by this time, I have helped him create a business proposal. I wrote a request for fund donation letter for him to send out. I gave him information of how to find grants and things like that for his real estate development business. And so he calls me about 2 weeks ago, and he calls and he says, okay, we have $3 million. I said, okay. I said, that's good. He said, the goal is 5 mil. I said, okay. I said, okay, we can do that. He was like, but I want 7 mil. That's going to make me feel comfortable. That's where I feel like we can get started and I'll be safe.
Okay.
I said, okay, no problem. No problem. So we sat there and we had more conversation, and we talked about what it looks like to raise this additional funding. And that's where we're working now.
Okay.
That's where we're working now. And where are we? This is the 7th month of the year.
Right.
So we went from, okay, I bought this piece of land, to now having a business plan and some development, having funding to start construction, and very close to the end goal of funding to get everything complete during a pandemic.
Wait. Then she threw in during a pandemic. Like, I've done all of this while the world is coming to an end. That is interesting because I'm listening to you talk about the business, the aspect, the business plan, the grants, everything that you're doing from your business for this man's business or your client's business. But then like 5 seconds ago, you were like, I'm helping people with their hair and making sure they're cool. And I'm like, where is this person coming from? Where did you get all this? Like, how did you find grants? Like, I need some grants. I need to grow my business. Like, we finding $3 million, $5 million, $7 million. What website do I need to go to? She's like, no, you come to me. You come to me. I will help you.
It's definitely out there. And, you have to take advantage of opportunities. And that's like the last conversation him and I was having right now. I said, supporting Black people is what corporations is all about right now. So we got to go out and ask for this money, right?
Okay.
They saying, they're putting on their websites, they're putting on their social media, we support Black people. go ask them for the funds, go ask them for the money. And so that's kind of our angle right now. And that's all it takes. You just got to ask. And it's about how to know how to ask to get the results that you want.
Okay, that's why we tuning into you. We trying to learn. Like, I need to know how to ask, because you just ask for the money. They'll give it to you, but like, what does that take? Like, does it take a grant? I mean, like a written proposal? Because I call him up right now. Who's the head of Coca-Cola? I want to talk to him. Tell him to write a check to ask Sharifah.
Yeah, so some of it is creating a brand, right? And then writing that proposal. And it's all about a pitch. It's all about selling to them your dream, right? And that should be really the easiest part, because this is your dream. This is what you believe in. So writing that down in words, and you're selling this to someone to believe in you and what it's about. Now, will you get a yes all the time? No. But then it's also about asking the right people, right? So he's in real estate development. And so he wants to create homes and property for people in a community that's already being gentrified, right? But he wants to try and save some of it for the people that are already there. Okay. So who would you ask to fund you in that lane? I'm not going to ask Coca-Cola because they don't care, right? But I'm asking people that are already in the community that is a part of the gentrification, the people that are already working with the locals, or working with people that are changing their life, or group communities and things like that, right? Local banks, people that are already involved. Selling them that story, asking them for the funding, and also know, really important is understanding what their funding looks like. And most of that information you can Google. Most people say, hey, we have this amount of money that we're giving away this year for this type of thing, right? So you already know how much funding they're giving out, so you know how much to ask for. Okay. We just gonna call you Bianca. I'm not even gonna do any more of that thinking. I'm just gonna call Bianca. Say, Bianca, can you go get us some money? It's a us now. It's a us, right? Right. Go get us some money. I mean, because I'm telling you, you make it sound so simple, so easy. So, like, I know the money is out there, and the reason it's so interesting that you say that is because obviously it's all over all the social media, all over the news. All these companies are giving out the money, and even some of my friends have gone out. Like, I have one friend who has two companies. She just got $110,000 for one company, and then turned around and got $55,000 for the next company. And she was like, Sharifah, they're just giving the money away. But one of the questions that's often asked is, have you seen a trend as far as particular industries that they're looking for? Because it's always like technology. We're looking for technology. We're looking for women in technology. We're looking for farmers. What have you seen? Yeah, those two right there are the major hitters. Those two right there are major hitters. Women in technology, they are like red carpet for women in technology right now. Farm to market type things as well. And then another one is really Black women small businesses. I think Black women in developing small businesses are all the rage right now. People like Target are really taking opportunities with small businesses from Black women, because they realize, hey, we are on it, and we're hungry, and we're willing to, go the extra mile. And so we're definitely being recognized right now. And it's about aligning yourself with the right people. And then I think our audience and our listeners want to align themselves with you. So if they contacted you, are you one of the people that does grant writing? Or is it more of a process? I guess. So I traditionally do not do grant writing. I will help you find grants, and we can talk about grant writing, but it's not something that I currently offer. So what I actually do with Gold Coin is two different things. So on the financial side, I help you create a budget you can follow so you can start saving and investing.
Mhm.
I work with couples, new couples, to start the conversation about finances, which I know could be hard, right? I can help couples get back on the right track with their finances as far as budgeting or repairing their credit. And then also giving them the beginning steps of how to invest their money. So that's the financial part. And then the business development part is like what I already spoke about, helping you create that legal structure, helping you build your business credit. Just in case you can't find free money, then you're working on your business credit that can help fund and expand your business the way you know how. And I don't know if people really understand the difference between your personal credit and your business credit. So they're completely different, right? And once you create that legal structure where you're separated from your business, you can create business credit that will not reflect on your personal credit. And it's actually a lot easier to establish business credit than it is to repair or use your personal credit when you're trying to build your business.
That's interesting. But I want to go back to something you said a little earlier about the couples. That sounds it's like certain words sound like a story to me. Like, because I hear couples and I'm working with couples on their finances. It's like, okay, who got a divorce? Who got mad? Who took all the money? Like, what happened that now you're like, let me help these couples?
Yeah. Well, I was married, and I want to say the reason why we have divorces because of finance. But when we first started out, we were young, and when we first started out, we had a good amount of money rolling those years that we were married. And I know if we had the mindset that we have now, we could have made better use of the money than what we did at the time. But I also know finance is a really a hard conversation to have when you're in a new relationship. And then finance is something hard to manage if you're not having those conversations with your partner. And, study shows that's the number one reason people get divorced. So getting on that same page with your partner so you can build to something bigger is what it's about.
And so you help the couples get on the same page. What are some of the questions that you ask? I'm just really curious about that because I know some of the questions I would ask.
I think one thing that a lot of people don't ask when they're dating or, as they're about to join finances or get married is asking each other, what are your financial goals, or what is my financial responsibility in this relationship, right? It's usually a lot of assuming that you guys are on the same page in that way. Or someone takes on more of the responsibility maybe than they can handle. And then that causes trouble later. So one of the questions is, what are your goals? What are some of the dreams? What are some of the things you want to accomplish? And they don't necessarily have to be the same between husband and wife or whatever, but knowing what those are so you guys can work on them together.
No, I like those. The other thought that I had, because I've seen this, especially I have a friend right now who's going through this as a part of, I want to say a divorce, but I don't even know if it's a divorce at this time because they keep getting together and breaking up and breaking up.
Girl, it gets complicated.
Yes. Like, I'm like, are y'all divorcing? Are y'all staying together? But part of the problem that they have is that they don't agree on whether or not they should have a joint bank account. And then so they kind of come to terms with it, and then it comes up over. So the husband, let me give you the brief scenario. The husband gives all his money to the wife. And then she handles all the bills and she handles all the responsibility, which both of them think is brilliant. Both of them think that that's wonderful. He doesn't want to handle it. She doesn't think he can handle it. But it kind of becomes a conflict because he has absolutely no idea where the money goes. So they kind of argue about it after the fact. And so one of the suggestions, I'm not an expert, that's why I'm asking you, but one of the suggestions that I made to them was like, at the very least, then maybe have that information available so that if he wants to know, if he wants to look, because he wasn't saying that, oh, I think you're taking the money and taking it to the strip club, but he just had no idea. And her response was more like, well, you don't want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? So what are your thoughts?
It has to be a partnership in that way. And I understand that he doesn't want to be a part. He's okay with her leading on that. And usually that comes with a little bit of fear, right? Maybe because he doesn't know or he doesn't feel confident to do it himself. So he's like, hey, I'll put it off on you. Mm-hmm. But we always got to think about that rainy day. Mm-hmm. What if it comes a day that she's not able to hold those responsibilities? Mm-hmm. Right? So he has to find a way to get engaged and know what's going on some level. Mm-hmm. Even if it's once a month that we're sitting down and I'm showing you what I'm doing, you know, I can still do it. It can still be my responsibility, but you're engaged with me. Mm-hmm. That way, you know, and you can say that you're in the know. Mm-hmm. And if worst comes to worst, you can take over as well. That right. I feel like definitely needs to be part of what they're going to do moving forward. One, so now it's know what happened, what's going to happen. We both know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think, and it's something where he's going to have to learn and be okay with working with her on that level. Yeah. That's what I would suggest. And some of it just comes with, you know, that simple conversation like, hey, I respect that you don't want to do this or you may not know it all, but we have to do it together. And just starting there, just sitting down, doing it together and starting creating that budget so we know how much is coming in, what's going out and where is it going. Because honestly, one thing that I found myself doing during this pandemic is I got Apple TV subscription, I got an Amazon subscription, I got HBO subscription. And at the end of the month, I was like, wait a minute. And I had to like scale back a bit. I was like, I don't need all this stuff. And so, you know, marking off those things off of my bill list made a big difference.
You probably had all those different channels and probably didn't even watch TV. Like you got all your information on Facebook, but you paying for 3 different programs.
Right. So yeah, for sure.
Yes, finances will destroy. I had another friend and this was years ago, but he was in the military and I guess they had a house or something and he would send the money home to his wife and you know, for everything, for the bills. And he came home and she had lost the house. Like literally, she hadn't paid the bills, she hadn't paid the mortgage, she hadn't paid anything. He was in the military, so you know he had a secure job, but he's taking care of home, off deployed somewhere, and comes home and there was a foreclosure notice, and she hadn't been paying the mortgage, right? And yes, these are the things that surprise you because you don't know what's going on, or maybe somebody isn't handling the business correctly.
Yeah, so. I have to blame both of them on that one. You know, people work better when they know they're being checked up on, right? So even if he's not in it, he should be checking up on it, right? Looking at the bank statement, seeing that mortgage come out, seeing that phone bill come out. And then 2, still being engaged, right? Not just sending the money, but make sure that it's getting done. And if she knew he was at least doing that, she would have did a little bit better.
Yes. So do you see this as, and I don't even know where the wedding industry is these days, but do you know, because like people typically meet with their pastor or their religious head before they get married. Do you feel like there should be more of a move to sit down with a financial counselor before you get married?
I definitely do. I remember my mom always saying, you want to make sure you're equally yoked. And it's like, that means of all aspects, right? Not just if we can have fun together, not if we just look good in pictures, but are we on the same track of what life looks like? You know what I'm saying? If I'm one that likes to take a vacation every year, are we going to plan for that together? Or am I going to get frustrated that we don't never go on vacation and talk to my girlfriend about how you never take me anywhere and then end up hating you 10 years from now because everyone on Instagram is going on vacation, you know? So yeah, I definitely think it should be part of the conversation. It wasn't part of the conversation when me and my ex got together. And I feel like if we would have had that conversation, we would have done better. For sure.
I think you've been watching some of my friends because I got another friend. I got too many friends. but it's going through the not the financial aspect of travel, but 10 years ago, she married a guy who she knew had child support issues. And because of
Mm,
his child support issues, he is unable to obtain a passport. And so she wants to travel. She wants to go all over the world, but she's married somebody who, at least based on his current circumstances, is
yeah,
unable to join her in the world that she would like to live, or the life that
yeah.
she would like to live. And so now she's a little bit, frustrated because they can't do what she wants.
Wants to
So
do, yeah.
you are amazing. Like, you get it. You get the aspect of teaching and building and business owner and entrepreneur and teaching these young minds, even though you're only 16. So I love it. I love all aspects of it. I learned a lot. I asked a lot of questions, but we are coming down to the last few minutes of the show. And what
Okay.
I love to do at the end of every show is just simply allow my guests the opportunity to speak directly to the audience, to everyone who's watching live, as well as everyone who's watching the show in the archives, and really just let them know what you want them to take away from your appearance.
Yeah, all right. Well, I appreciate that. What I really want everyone to take away from this is that your dreams can become your goals and your goals can become your reality. It's about just working at it. And one major key is that we have ourselves together. And that means getting our finances in order, getting to a place where we can invest into our dreams, and then creating those first steps to building your business. And it sounds easy, right? As I say it like this, but sometimes we need help, and asking for help is not a problem. And ask for help when you need it. And that's something that I always am here for and willing to do. So when it comes to finances, when it comes to starting a business, I am more than willing to help you do any of those things. And I'm willing to meet you where you are. I'm willing to meet you where you are and help you get to where you want to be. So you can visit my website. It's goldcoinfbd.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
And your Gold Coin FBD.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You're on Facebook and Instagram under Gold Coin FBD.
Yes, absolutely.
That is so wonderful. So when you say meet you where you are, so somebody and they got a 200 credit score, they can come to you and they be like, Bianca, I want to change my life, and you're not gonna laugh them out the door.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I think that's one thing about asking for help. People are usually embarrassed to ask for help, right? Because people create this image for themselves and they're supposed to have it all together and they don't want anyone to know they may not have something together. That's not what it's about. It's about actually getting it together and being proud of that journey to get you where you want to be.
Absolutely. I love it. I want to thank you for being a guest on today's episode of Ask Sharifah Videocast. I also want to thank everyone who tuned in live to watch the show, for your questions, for your comments, for your love, for your support, as well as everyone who's watching the show in the archives. I definitely appreciate you. But like I said at the beginning, don't just appreciate the show. Don't just support the show. Please share the show so your friends can have all of this wonderful laughter, knowledge, information as well. And if you are interested in being a guest, please visit the website at AskSharifah.com. Until the next time, everyone have a safe and a blessed day. Bye now.